Hey group, it's Ben, and I'm back with another MBTI video. Today we're going to be talking about Representative Tulsi Gabbard. She was a contender for president in the last go-round, and I got a feeling that her name's going to be coming up a lot here very shortly. She's been making some stands that are very unusual for her political affiliation. And so I look for her name to be in the news a little bit more, people to be looking for her a little bit more. And so we're going to take a look inside of her mind, so that when people look for it, they can see this. And we're going to check it out. I'm going to briefly describe what we're going to do. This is the MBTI system, but it has changed. It's not like anything else you will see anywhere on the internet. I have changed it to polish a few things and make it work in a more logical manner, more scientific manner. If I look at it, it is objective, of course, but I've tried to make it, or it's subjective, of course, but I've tried to make it as objective as possible. What we look for is people are either things or ideas, right? You are either focused on the things in life or the ideas in life. You either gather new or organize old of those two things. You either do that for yourself or for the tribe. You are either a controlling person who must have rigid control of the situation, or you're a movement type who is flexible around the ideas. And you're either direct or informative. You either get to the point in as few words as possible, or you over-explain and you talk in circular logic, circular explanations, expounding where it doesn't really need to be. And that's how we type. We will now check out the CPAC. This is Tulsi's CPAC speech from this year. It's February 26th of 2022. And we're going to see what she's got to say.
I am so excited and honored to welcome to the stage tonight at the Conservative Political Action Conference.
Let's take it up. All right, first thing we're going to be looking for is the things or ideas and gather or organize. Either she is going to be talking about new things or old things, or she's going to be talking about new ideas or old ideas. If the ideas have already been decided upon, or the things have already been decided upon, that is organization. All right. That was weird.
Thank you. Thank you. Aloha. That's what I'm talking about. Thanks so much, Larry, and thanks Matt and Mercy, and just thanks all of you for your kind and warm welcome. You are making me feel right at home. Before
I like that saying, awake, not woke.
Before I get started, I just wanted to ask if we could just for a moment and talk about Ukraine and what is going on there.
Okay, so we're going to list some things. Are we going to list specific examples or grand ideas?
I had never been to Eastern Europe until I actually went on my R&R leave for my first deployment in Iraq.
That is one list of things.
Instead of going back to Hawaii, I chose to go to Eastern Europe. I went to Poland, visited Auschwitz, visited the ghettos in Warsaw.
That's a different list. So we got 1, 2 on a different list of things. These are things that have actually happened, places that she's actually been. She is using that as the basis of what she is about to tell you. That is SE, that is SI. That is very much this idea. We have already done it. It is gathered. It is sorted. This is, or not idea, thing. This thing has already been gathered and sorted. I have done this. This has been, that's very much SI.
And then I went to Ukraine, and I made some wonderful friends there. People who I became closer to as the years went on, and like so many people who are stuck.
And I had some very good experiences there. The SI. I had experiences there.
In Ukraine right now. Many of them are stuck in Kyiv. Others are trying to make their way to the border with Poland, afraid, worried for their loved ones, Their husbands unable to leave, and it's heartbreaking.
That is bringing in some ideas to support the evidence already presented.
It's heartbreaking to see this tragedy play out. So I just wanted to ask if we could just pause for a moment of silence and send our prayers for their safety and for their well-being. Thank you. I gotta say, when Matt and I first spoke on the phone about my coming here, we both had a similar reaction to each other, saying, yeah, there's gonna probably be some strong thoughts that people were gonna share with both of us.
Okay, that's taking in the possibilities, and that is gathering, that is anticipating tribe input, right?
When they find out that I'm coming here, and we both kind of, I imagined you were nodding, Matt, I was nodding, but we're like, you know what, bring it on.
That's very movement.
And they brought it on. So it wouldn't surprise you to know that on social media and Twitter, the blue check marks started lighting up, and I kind of started to see, coming from the so-called progressives, the usual things coming out saying, Tulsi Gabbard is going to CPAC. She's
very much tribe focused. This is saying that she's considering the tribe feedback, so that it's tribe movement, right? She's not pushing back against what the tribe is saying, so there's no control issue there, and it's not a self issue. She's not concerned as much about herself as she is with the tribe.
She's a traitor. Hillary was right. Get her out of here. And then I started to see the things coming up from so-called conservatives, mostly directed at Matt, saying, how dare you? Don't you know she's a Democrat? Cancel her, disinvite her, lock the doors, don't let her in.
I'm pro-diversity. I love the fact that they had a Democrat speak at CPAC. I know that this is not the video for that, but I'm going to stick that in there anyway.
While these things can be easy to laugh about sometimes, unfortunately, this kind of reaction, this kind of tribalism is not limited to social media. It is something that's happening far too often and far too common across our country, where one section of our country sticks to our own tribe. We only hang out with and listen to and talk to people who we agree with.
That's very tribe focused, and it is very movement. She's trying to see the other side of things.
We turn our backs and reject anyone who is not part of that tribe. But
she also does not seem to be informative. She's speaking, she's expected to speak, right? But she's not following any circular progressions. She's not circling the same topic over and over and over. She's hitting the point, she hits it quickly, she does what she needs to, and she moves on. If she has to expand, it's expanding in a logical way and not a circular. So that gives me a more direct over informative vibe. It's hard to get direct versus informative in a speech. We did that with the floor comments for MTG. But I'm really liking you get an idea of what they want to talk about, right? Assuming that they write their speech. She's wanting to talk about, and the important thing to her is listing the sensory, to showing the evidence. I'm
kind of tribalism is dangerous, and it's emblematic of an erosion of
now she's talking some grand ideas here.
A spiritual foundation in this country. It's emblematic of this lack of recognition that we are all God's children, that we are one nation under God, and knowing
very tribe, very movement.
That inspires us. It inspires us to look within and find that fundamental respect and care that we should have for one another. And so when I came out here, I said aloha because this is what aloha really means. Everyone's heard the word aloha. Most people think it means hello and goodbye, but the reason
Here's the list of what it actually means.
There's a reason why we greet each other with aloha, and it's because of the deeper meaning there where it says, I recognize that we are all children of God, and I come to you with respect. And I come to you with this heartfelt love that no matter where we come from, the color of our skin, our religion, or even our politics, we respect each other in that spirit of aloha.
She just listed the idea, but as a thing. It's very interesting how she did that. Like, I want to listen to that again. Hold on.
We respect each other in that spirit of aloha.
Like she took the one word, which does have a very, very intense meaning, right? Like it is a spirit of acceptance. Like the word is, yes, it's a greeting, and yes, it's a go away, like when you leave. But it's also very much an acceptance of you through that, right? And that's what she's doing here. But she lists it. Like she lists the things involved in the idea.
Color of our skin, I come to you with this heartfelt love that no matter where we come from, the color of our skin, our religion, or even our politics, we respect each other in that spirit of aloha.
So yeah, that's very much a list things inside the idea. And she's bringing you the new idea. The new idea is aloha, but she's listing it. That's great. That's a great example of that. That's some SINE interplay right there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and we're going to type her out. She's going to be an ES. She's going to be a J because she's organized. She's going to be SI, and she's at for the tribe, right? So that's ESJ, and she's movement, so that's going to make her an ESFJ. She is direct, so that will make her an ESFJ alternate. We're going to look for confirmation now. What we should see is her considering everybody's feelings right off the top, like the very first thing, without even thinking about it. Then she's going to list the things. Next, she will be very pushed back on what I think. She's going to be very strong and stand in what she thinks. And she's going to consider the possibilities, but it's going to be the last part. And she's going to use everything else to support that. We'll look for some more briefly, but I'm pretty good with this.
This spirit of aloha is actually what is at the heart of our Declaration of Independence. It is what is the foundation of our Constitution. When we say we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.
That is 3 examples of ideas as things. Amazing.
That they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Our freedom comes from God, not from any other person, not from anyone in government.
Let me organize this sensory for you real quick.
Our freedom comes from
That's crazy.
From God, and to recognize others as children of God is to appreciate that we belong to God and no one else. So naturally, therefore, no one has the right to take away that intrinsic freedom which God has given us. This is the foundation of the social construct of the United States of America. This is what is at the foundation of our Constitution.
She has listed the thing, like she's listed the idea as the thing that it is based upon. That's kind of it's kind of strange because it would almost make her an NI, but she's not about the grand ideas. She's about the actual thing and using the grand ideas to support that thing. Like the thing is freedom. We will support that when God has given it to us.
And we heard a lot from Glenn tonight about the First Amendment, about free speech, about the Bill of Rights.
There she goes again. She's listing the things that actually took place. Like that's what differentiates this from an NI. If if it wasn't for the fact that she's listing the things that have actually already taken place repeatedly, I would put her as an NI. But because that is her go-to is, I'm going to list the things that have happened already, that I have already experienced, that we have already had. That is SI. It is a good example of how that interplay can work, because it can be tricky to differentiate. Right? Like in this right here, it's the listing of things that have actually happened. If she was just talking about freedom and all of the things that she's listing without listing them as examples, then it would be more of an NI or even an NE. It's very good stuff.
Our First Amendment, as you well know, says Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for redress of grievances.
She's using different sections of the Constitution to act as the SI in this. Like it's really a great example. Like she is definitely ESFJ alternate. Like, and the only thing that makes it alternate rather than a regular one, right, is the delivery of the information is not circular. If it was talking in circles and explaining the same thing over and trying to sell you the same thing over, because ESFJs are really good at selling things, right? And if they were trying to sell you the thing by repeatedly hammering you with the same concept, then that's informative. But she's not. She's just giving you the examples of the evidence. So she's alternate.
This foundation of freedom is what makes us who we are as Americans. This foundation of freedom, for me, is deeply ingrained in who I am, both as a soldier and as an American. That oath that I took.
That was funny. You saw that? Hold on. Look. This girl's on her phone, right? This girl notices
that
the camera.
oath that I took to support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic, is one that is seared into my heart.
How crazy is it, y'all? How crazy is it? We're gonna wrap it up right here. This is the end. I'm really good with this determination. But how crazy is it that you have someone who ran for president as a Democrat standing in front of a former Democrat who won president as a Republican? There might be a certain amount of foreshadowing in this. Y'all know I am NI dominant, right? I see patterns. And the pattern that I am seeing in this particular spot is a possibility for the first woman Republican president. And that's where we're going to leave it. This was really good. She is definitely gave me a very much things organized. That's going to be SI. She is very much tribe-centered. She is not doing these things for herself. They are not centered on her, but they are centered instead upon the tribe. And so that's going to make her an E, right? So she's an ES. She is SI, so that's going to make her a J. She's ESJ. She is movement, so she is an ESFJ. And she is direct, so that makes her an alternate. So we're looking at FeSiTiNe. This was good. To the crew, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate every single minute that you are here with me. And I am praying for you every single day. Till next time, this has been Pet Steak. Peace.